Hey, my lovelies. Welcome back to JayeRated. So, I'm reviewing my last episode of Love Island Games Season 2 before the finale, guys. Can you believe it? We're already here. I can, honestly, because I didn't see them bringing in any more bombshells. So, in this episode, things got emotional, messy, strategic, but in the wrong way. Let's get into it. I hope you got your snacks ready and your cups are full. All right, so we start this episode resuming from the cliffhanger. All right, so if you don't remember, Garbi and Casey chose to gamble with the plain red and white Russian roulette board. If it landed on red, they would be safe. If it landed on white, they were going home. And so, literally, they are dumped by the skin of their teeth. The margin was razor thin. When I say it stopped like on the line between the two colors and then just kind of rolled into the white, everybody was shocked. Honestly, it was a little bittersweet. I think Garbi really did put up a fight this season. I know I didn't know her before she came into Love Island Games season 2, but she has gained a follower in me on Instagram. Isaiah made the comment to Casey that they should have just gone with letting the Islanders choose. But honestly, I feel like it could have gone either way. They were an easy pick to get out, along with Josh and Andrea, just because they were so competitive. But Garvey did make an interesting point. She said that she's going home because of a game, not because of a duel. And she is right. She held her own this entire season. Each duel she was in, she really did give it her all. So it was kind of interesting that she was going out um, because of a game and just by chance. So after such a long night, the Islanders go to bed, and the next day, we get to see a couple chats between some of the Islanders. Toby and Sydney, more specifically, they are like a train wreck. So basically, Toby was trying to smooth things over with Sydney, and just give his like reasoning for why, he was trying to make the decision that he was trying to make. He did apologize, but his way in explaining himself, it just didn't make the situation any better. Sydney just kept crying, bless her heart. And I think the reason she was so hurt is because they know each other apparently on the outside. And so I think she was just expecting a little more from him. She even said, like, you're basically saying you don't believe in me, which is, that's a hard thing, for someone to hear, especially if they're comparing you to someone else. But I'm glad Justine and Gabby was there to kind of basically pick Sydney up, when she needed it and let her know, look, prove them wrong, like show them what you've got. And I think that's what she needed to hear. And then later we see Toby and Ty having a chat. And Toby's just trying to understand like Tyreek's like point of view and like why he voted the way he did the night before in the card game. He was basically, I think he was just pissed that he may have messed up their alliance with Johnny, because they kind of, explicitly said basically since Toby came in, like it's going to be us three in the finale. So yeah, he was really just trying to understand where he was coming from, and I really don't think he understood. He basically told Tyreek, like, before coming in here, I would have trusted you with my life. And now I don't know how well I can trust you, which I feel like it's kind of silly. And it's a little far fetched because y'all are friends on the outside. Um, I do understand, Tyreek saying he wanted to give Toby a chance. But I don't think he had to go about it that way, honestly. So then Lucinda gets a text letting the Islanders know that later that night they will be participating in the semi-final challenge. Shoot your shot. I mean, we already know that this has to do with basketball, right? So the premise of this challenge was for the Islanders to get as many basketballs into their goal as they could by the end of 2 rounds. So it's the first round, all of the basketballs were in this little circular pit. basically. And the girls were up first. So the girls stand in position next to their goal while the guys run a lap around the set, grab the ball, pass it off to them for them to shoot it into their goal. Um, I was surprised actually by Sydney's performance in this round. She actually killed it. She got the most balls into her net slash rack out of all of the girls, and Toby was just shitting on her basically, saying that she wasn't going to do well, or he didn't think she was going to do well in any of the duels slash challenges. And so he ate his words, and I'm sure that gave her a confidence boost. The gag is, once they ran out of balls from the circular pit, they could start stealing balls from the other islanders' racks. And so they all targeted Josh and Andrea, obviously, because they are trying to get them out. I mean, we have the other remaining couples were in the power squad, you know? Their goal was to go for Josh and Andrea. So by the end of the first round, Josh and Andrea had 0 balls left in their racks. So that made them vulnerable. Whomever had the least amount of balls at the end of the round would be given the dreaded white ball. And basically, Ariana just said you don't want to have the white ball at the end of the second round because you will be eliminated. So by the end of the first round, since Andrea and Josh had no balls, they were given the white ball. So going into the second round, the players who or the couples that were safe and they had balls were trying to think, okay, how can we avoid getting this white ball? Because Josh and Andrea had, I believe it was 5 minutes per round. So they had 5 minutes this round to decide who they were going to give the white ball to, or how they were going to go about it. And so before the round started, Josh and Andrea said, hey, this is what I think we should do. We're just going to count out the time, and then at the very last second, give the white ball to someone else. Of course, the other couples don't know this because this is a conversation between Josh and Andrea. So as the second round starts with the guys going this time, they are moving as they expected to. They are running the laps, just kind of waiting to see what Josh and Andrea are going to do. And then they realize, wait, they're not doing anything. So it was kind of more about trying to figure out their strategy and seeing what they should do to keep themselves safe. So then they thought, if they give us the ball, the white ball, at the last minute and my rack is full, I'm definitely not going to be able to get rid of it. So what they started doing was the safe couples, Johnny and Gabby, Lucinda and Isaiah, and Tyreek and Justine, they started emptying their first rack of balls to free up space in case they get the white ball. And so, okay, we're like, could be anyone at this point who could be going home potentially. And we see Josh and Andrea just kind of staying huddled up close to each other, trying to keep count, but also not be distracted by the other Islanders just running around in circles because they had to keep moving. They couldn't just stand there. And what do we know? Josh and Andrea run out of time. Child, I was not expecting that, okay? They run out of time before they can even give the white ball away. And so ultimately, they're dumped. And it was kind of gut wrenching to see them go out like that. I knew they were the target. I knew that they could possibly be going home, but I genuinely thought they would have a fighting chance in the second round. But they miscalculated. They were using strategy, but it just did not work out to their advantage. And I even got a little teary-eyed. Josh, he gave his speech. Ariana basically asked him, how does it feel, being back a second time after his journey being cut short the first time because his first time coming on Love Island, the original in the USA, his sister passed away, and so he had to leave the villa, and his journey was cut short. So he came back to give it another go, and he made us all quite emotional. I was teary eyed. The Islanders were crying as he was giving his speech. It was very sweet. And honestly, it kind of sucked seeing them go out that way, considering how strong competitors they both were individually. But as a couple, they were a dynamic duo. So at the end of the game, the couple with the most balls in their racks would automatically be going into the finale and into the Mega Duel. So the couple with the most balls were Lucinda and Isaiah. I say it like that because I wasn't expecting it. And if I'm being completely honest, I really don't think they're gonna do all that well in the finale, in the Mega Duel. But let me not underestimate them. I mean, Lucinda, she did go into one duel and she did well. But I just don't see them as strong competitors. I like Isaiah because he's just like a funny character in the villa. Um, but other than that, I just don't see them as huge competitors for the games. Honestly, I didn't expect Lucinda and Isaiah to make it to the end, but kudos to them. I'll give props where it's due. So, America gets to decide who do they want to see going into the Mega Duel. Is it going to be Justine and Tyreek? Insert picture here. Johnny and Gabby? Insert their cute little picture here. Or Toby and Sydney? Insert picture here. What would y'all say? If I had my pick, so I chose I voted for Justine and Tyreek because I love Justine. Tyreek is just a character. He's funny. He's entertaining to watch for sure. But if I had my pick, I would choose for Justine and Tyreek to go into the Mega Duel and Johnny and Gabby to go into the Mega Duel because I think they would be the most interesting to watch. We won't know the results until Sunday night, which is the finale. And I can't wait. So I JayeRate this episode an 8 out of 10. It wasn't too messy, all right, but it was a good watch. What do y'all think? Who do y'all think is going to take the crown in the 250 thou wow? All right, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you're rocking with my reviews. Until next time, cheers.